All right, boys and girls, today we are going to take our superhero sketches and make them into superheroes. We'll give them bodies and, um, faces and hands and things like that. And so you might be asking yourself when you look at your drawing here, how do we take something like this and turn it into something like this? Or it might even take you to the next step where we get rid of all those extra lines in there. Now if you look carefully at this, there's tons of extra lines that you can see where I sketched in. And it shows why do we want to go lightly with the lines. Now, if you go to Google Classroom, I have saved for you in there some references. So yesterday, some of you got to see how I used the let me see, here we go. How I had the going to Classworks. I'm coming down here, and you saw superhero references. Well, here are face and costumes, and so when I click on this, there are different costumes and faces that you can look at. Now, do you have to do it exactly like one of these? No, you can change it. These are just references here. I think this one's a really good references for faces and hairstyles and things like that on your superhero. Here's some great costumes that you can do. There's some costumes that you can think about. Mr. Lane, are we allowed to look up our own on the internet? Yes. I just don't want you spending lots and lots of time. One of the reasons I go ahead and put those references on there is that I would like for you to spend your time drawing, not looking it up. So if you spent the whole day looking up just the absolute perfect superhero that you're trying to envision, that's just going to take too long. So one of the things I want to do is put a nose, put a mouth. Don't forget, the ears over here. I'll go ahead. I like that girl one, so I'm going to do the girl superhero, and I like her hair flying in the wind like this. Part of this is just when I come to do that hand, I always think, okay, if I'm posing, okay, so that girl is jumping up and she is doing something like this, like that. So, or I guess for you guys it'd be like this, right? So if I'm jumping up and I'm getting ready to, what does that hand look like? What does this hand look like? Is this hand open? Is this one shut? It is totally okay to sketch that. It's totally okay to kind of pose for that and then think about that. Okay, if my hand's coming up like this, it's going to come down here like that. My thumb is kind of like going like this. No, that's a big man hand. It doesn't look like a girl's hand, but okay, you get the idea. And then over here, I'm going to do, maybe if it's a guy, I'd give it a lot of beefy muscles, but the girl, I'm going to give it a little less, but still strong. She's a superhero after all. And then the hand, like I said, is going to be, the thumb is going to be here. I always think about the thumb and then putting the three fingers together, and this one might be out a little bit like that, like and then you got this circle here. You want to connect that, okay? So I'm going to connect that. I'm going to, put some, think about her legs. And remember when we do legs, you do that circle there and then the knee, and it's almost like a bicycle wheel. We do that so her legs look strong and not skinny like this. And then we can do a little edge like that coming down here, and then the foot going like that. And then maybe the other leg kind of coming up here like this, and the foot coming down. And maybe a knee up there like this. And I've had a lot of references, so I can do this kind of quickly. It's going to take you a little bit longer, but think about costumes. You want a part that kind of like shoulder pads coming down here like this. Is she wearing a skirt? So I'm going to erase a little bit of that and put in a skirt. Maybe some pleats. I don't know. And do I have something coming down here like this? Do I have boots on? So I'm just going to draw a line where the boots are going to be, and does she have, are they do they stick out a little bit with a, I don't know. like that. You know, some boots coming in. Is she wearing gloves maybe? I could do the gloves coming off like that. That's really up to you. Do you want to put a cape on her? I know that in The Incredibles she's like, no capes, but I kind of like capes. So I know why they have capes, because artists like to draw them. They're fun to draw. And go ahead. Now, like I said, that's a lot of lines. So I also have over for you a couple of references. Okay, up front, I have this tracing paper. Now, you might say, oh, Mr. Lang, you just got that out of a hot dog thing. No, that's highly expensive tracing paper. It has nothing to do with the fact that I got them really cheap as hot dog holders. Okay, and I'm going to take like 2 pieces of tape up here, one here and one here, so that the paper doesn't move. But I can still lift it up and get a good look at it, because it's sometimes a little hard to see on there. And then I have markers for you up front. And please put these markers back, and I'll clean them after your class today, but I really need you to give me the markers back. Those are not to keep. But I have a big end of the markers, and I have a small end of the markers. Okay, the small end will be good for like the face, drawing the face on here. Oh, is this one working? The big end is, I do most of it with the big end of this. There we go. And do the nose, trace it like this. And as I'm doing this, I am actually getting it so that I'm not doing all those lines that we did for the sketches. And by doing, getting rid of this, it looks like I drew this the first time when I take this off. So I'm going to draw that in the wind, maybe some hair coming down here like this. And now suddenly it looks like it took me no time at all to draw, oops, that's not the greatest hand in the world. Draw some of this in here. And then you could take your colored pencils, and hopefully you brought your colored pencils with you today, and you can color it in with colored pencils. If you don't get it all the way colored in, don't panic too much. We probably have some time on Monday to do that. Or excuse me, when the next time you're here, which is Thursday. When you come back, but you can go ahead and color that in, trace this, and then when you take that off, it looks so nice and clean. I think I need to do this, but with a mask. But and that is taking your superhero from a sketch to a final drawing.